mode. Hello, sacred friends. How are you today? Today we're just kind of connecting in with the energies of Aries full moon, which actually is tomorrow. Today the moon is still in Pisces, and we're going to connect into the energies of the full moon in Aries. We are now in the Libra season. And Libra is an air element. And here we have air, sun, and fire moon, mixing it up. Energies have been a little intense for me. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I kind of wanted to, let's start with just a little meditation, just to connect us into, we're going to connect into the full moon in this meditation. So just asking us to settle a little bit. Let's close our eyes, getting to a comfortable position. We're going to take a few deep breaths. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release the tensions of the day. Just asking you to do that a couple times. Breathe in, breathe out the stress and tension. So let's start. Let's connect into the beautiful night sky. There's a radiant full moon there, shining brightly above. Sense its gentle glow. It envelopes you with calming, soothing energy. Just sit there for a moment and bask in that beautiful light. Now bring your awareness to the full moon above in Aries. I want you to feel the fiery energy of Aries filling your being. Let it ignite your passion, your courage. Feel your sense of enthusiasm, your motivation. Let it deepen. Embrace Aries qualities of determination, boldness. And as you connect with the moon in Aries, take a moment to reflect on your ambitions, your goals. What are your desires? What actions can you take to bring them into the physical world? Allow the energy of the moon to inspire you, give you courage. Now, take a few more deep breaths. Absorb the energy of the moon. Feel Aries infuse every cell of your being. Breathe it in. Exhale slowly. Release all resistance. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. And let's remember to bring the energies of the Aries full moon with you today. And just come back to the room when you're ready.
Thank you. That was
You're
lovely.
welcome. I thought my dog was going to bark. Oh, my goodness. Oh, so Aries, what does the Aries full moon, have you felt it? How have you felt with it? I just, Alexandra, have you connected to any, you know?
Yes, I can definitely reflecting on these past few days, uh feel a shift of energy inside myself, coming out of that more dreamy Aquarius and Pisces phase. Even my body is feeling like more motivated to take action, where before, yesterday even, it was, yeah, slow down, slow down, slow down. But now I feel like slowly motion is coming back into the game, and yeah, using that momentum. Yeah.
You know, I felt for the last few days pulled in a lot of different directions. It seems like I was doing one project, getting pulled here, so I could feel that tension building, kind of intense energy. Libra, that Libra harmonizing, beautiful, balancing, justice type energy is air. And Aries, of course, is the yang, fire, masculine energy. So I feel that airy quality is stoking the flames. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And a little bit, I'm kind of getting a little bit imbalanced. I usually do some, this season of, for me, Bata is what usually imbalances me a bit. I'm not as grounded, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling as comfortable as I was. I feel a lot more comfortable in that dreamy Pisces energy than I do Aries. Even though I have Mars and everything. What is it? I guess in Joitish, I have what do they call it? My Mars is exalted. So all those fiery energies that I have are exalted in my Joitish chart. So just not feeling really comfortable here the last few days.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Interesting.
yeah. But so, huh. Aries is supposed to hold all that courageous and strong and but one thing, I told you earlier that I was couldn't really figure a crystal. Called in my guides and everything, open sacred space, really could not, a crystal was not coming to me at all. And so this was really, so I went to my cards, cards always draw inspiration. And I use the Crystal Ally cards, Evolution Edition. Yeah, this is kind of worn. So Naisha
Well
Ashian.
loved. Well loved.
Yes, well loved. It really, because my teacher, the one I took a year course with, so Becoming the Human Crystal and some of her other ones, was the one that created this, Naisha Ashian. And so I called in all my guides, and what I pulled really surprised me. So, and I don't know if you can see that card. It's just like the black sky with some
Yes,
stars.
stars. I can see them.
Yep, yeah, the stars. And the prompt is structure, and Shungite is the card, is the crystal. And here, now this is interesting also. I only have one Shungite in my entire crystal. It's an expense, well, it can be an expensive. And I have an elite Shungite. It's quite lovely. It almost looks like not galena, but maybe hematite, but not quite so gray. And honestly, and what happened with this one, it broke. So I I've never used it on a crystal draw. I've never used it on anything because I almost felt that it wasn't worth my notice. Isn't that awful? I should say, isn't that awful? But I want to tell you one thing: when a crystal breaks, it absolutely still holds all the energy. There's nothing wrong with it, but for some reason, I never wanted to use it. Oh, Mayruth. So Mayruth is coming. So Ruth is coming along. I'll wait for her to join us. So, yeah, I wanted to kind of, hello, Ruth. How are you? We were just kind of talking about the crystal that came forward. And I was talking about how my one, this is an elite shungite. Now there's different forms of shungite. Elite shungite is one of the higher grade ones. Well, it broke, so I've never used it. I didn't want to use it. Didn't feel it was worthy of my attention. So, but today, it certainly came forward, and it came forward in the form of a card. The card I drew from the Crystal Ally Evolution cards and it's just a black sky with beautiful stars. The prompt is structure and shungite. And actually, and boy, I tell you, actually, shungite is not even a crystal. It's not a mineral. It's a carbon mineraloid, which it has no internal crystalline structure. So it actually represents the formless state from which all physicality arises. I know that's a big lot of words. So with it, we are made of carbon. This is made of carbon. And it's a bridge actually between formlessness or chaos and order or structure. So that is our bridge. And structure actually is just another word for organization. So as we have those visions, as we have those thoughts, as we have those dreams, shungite is actually there to support us in creating creating organization and planning and all those structures to make our dreams come true. So, isn't that kind of Aries is, all about taking those dreams and having them also, what's your next step? So I thought this was really an important kind of stone to really assist us right now. How do you bring your vision into the world? Do you have gaping holes? Do you have missing components? Shungite kind of helps you really organize and plan. So I thought that was kind of wow. And I haven't worked with this stone because it broke. And I'm here to tell you, even this little piece here has just as much energy and just as much knowledge and a message that this piece. I just didn't want to work with it. So it's calling me. I'm going to work with it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So that it came to call after it's been tucked away for a very long time.
Interesting story, interesting stone. I've never heard of that one, but I like the idea of calling in some structure to this as well.
Kind of, and with that windy Libra and fiery Aries, there is no structure with those two. Is there? There's none. So, actually this is an earth element will actually support grounding and making support form and tamponing down those intense energies of the Aries full moon. So, yeah. And ladies, how are you dealing with this full moon energy? Kasha, do you have anything you want to say about it? Anything?
It's been intense as well.
Oh.
For last couple of days full of weird surprises and weird things happening. Very intense,
Yes.
Extremely intense. Yeah. I was actually on my mini honeymoon in Poland, in the mountains, and then we spent some time with my mom and dad, which was lovely. The weather was unpredictable in the mountains, so we went from beautiful sunny to rainy, as it always is unpredictable, with strange phenomena like fog, enveloping the whole mountain, and then moving towards our little hut, and then we couldn't see anything. And then hot springs, and then like extremities, and then hot weather, and then cold weather, and then rain. But even like, I don't know, it kind of like, in a way, it felt like Mercury retrograde for me, because for example, the night before we were traveling back, we got a cancellation that the flight was cancelled, and we were in a panic at midnight, just on the day, when we were due to travel back. We couldn't find anything, and we're like, oh my God, do we need to take 5 trains throughout Europe to travel 22 hours to UK? Like,
oh my goodness.
it was just this like a panic. How do we get home? And then, on the plane, for example, a lady got very, very ill, and she passed away for a couple of minutes. She was in the same sort of first front of the plane as us, like literally in the row in front of us. And I didn't know she passed away, but there was a doctor lady happened to be in the front, just in front of her, so she helped, and she was giving her sugar, Coke to drink, and I suspect it was like low blood sugar.
Like a diabetic, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were pricking her finger, doing the blood test, and the lady doctor was upset with the cabin crew that the test wasn't working very well. But in the end, we were supposed to do mid-landing in Frankfurt, because the captain was prepared to do the mid-landing, and the doctor said, no, no, no. It was very dramatic, She was confident that we're going to pull through. But can you imagine if we did a mid-landing in Frankfurt? I don't know when we would get home and what time. And
Jeez.
I was so full of drama. And then to top it all off, my client gets on the plane. I'm like, oh, hi, Suran. I introduce him to my husband. This is my client. What are the odds? Like, he's flying from Krakow to. So it's very strange, very funny though, like looking back. But I'm absolutely knackered. I'm so tired. Full of drama. I'm actually, to Karen's point, I'm on that Libra Aries axis. This is my nodes. This is my nodal axis. Yeah. So my Libra is for north, and my so that's my lesson, and my Aries is in the past, to shed to shed the warrior in the individuality, and me, just to work with other people and collaborate. Yeah, that's so I'm actually moon in Aries as well, so I'm feeling this somehow as well, like you, Karen.
Well,
I know you probably
I don't think I have anything in Aries. I don't think I have but it's just I can really feel the tension. Really feel the tension.
I have this interesting book that I wanted to share as well, because that just I don't know if it's got anything to do with how you kind of, let me just show you this. It's like astrology based. Maybe Ruth, you know this. It's
the astrology of time. I was looking at real astrology, and what was the other one? It was like a real sidereal astrology.
Sidereal, which is like connected with how the constellations are really in the sky. So this one actually like talks about, for example, now we are in the week of perfection, from 25th of September to 2nd of October, and just like gives you a breakdown of what happened, and how some people may be affected in a positive way and some in a more challenging way. And I always think there is something to it, but there's some weeks where I almost feel like in my natural element, and some not so much. I mean, this is really challenging, for example, for people born in like December, January, at the beginning of January, March, April, but towards the end of March.
Yeah, I'm kind of the 19th of March, but that can shift a little. So
yeah. So this is like challenging, but for others, like Libra and I think Aquarius and the first week of Gemini, this is like a really good week. So I just think it's sometimes interesting to see from this perspective, how we whether we believe these things or not.
That's called the secret of time.
This is called the astrology of time.
Astrology.
He has also done this one, the secret language of luck.
Okay.
And it's a little bit about which week to pick or whatever to travel or change jobs and blah 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 all this thing. But
I
it's
usually get
interesting.
I get auspicious days through Vedic astrology from my
exactly.
Jyotish astrology.
Yeah, that talks about decans and decans or decans and things like that, and breaks it down like we did with the book club with the book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's been interesting, but I look forward to what Ruth is
Yeah,
feeling.
and Ruth, this is recorded right now, so just so you know. But I would love to hear your insight on the Libra Sun and the Aries full moon.
Well, we have Aries full moons all the time, except this one is not always confronted with Pluto, is not confronted with, and when Kasia, you were talking, I was really hearing more of the Uranian energy that's going on and the surprises that can be pulled, and also the surprises with, because let's see, with Uranus being in Taurus and Jupiter in Taurus, and your stone would seem to capsule that, because we're asking, I think this full moon is saying yes, release, but it's asking, it's restructuring.
Oh, that's
how I'm looking at it. Restructuring where we have been. And even though most everybody's not mentioning it, I actually think that Saturn in Pisces, because it's going to be sitting there, it's asking us to look at the hidden kinds of things that can keep us from taking off and beginning to do some of the Aries kinds of things that can, in fact, I think it's a restructuring of our identity, each one of us. That's how I'm looking at it. It's a restructure, because Aries first sign is about identity, first house. And so I think that's what, and with Mercury being in Virgo and connecting to Uranus and Jupiter in earth signs. So I think it's a re-looking at how we each are going, and we all actually have Aries somewhere, even though you might not have it by sign. I don't have it by sign, except I do include these days I'm including the asteroids. For example, I have Aries in Vesta, the goddess of the hearth, but of independent nature. I actually align her with Virgo because I think she helps to put things into perspective, putting our interdependence and our dependence and independence into perspective. I think that's what she does. And I have that in Aries. I also have Aries on the cusp of the 11th house. So wherever you find Aries in your particular chart is where you would need, I think we need to pay attention to your own restructuring, whatever house it's in, it's on the cusp, and then look for Mars because we all got Mars somewhere, and Mars is interfacing with that house. And so that's how I'm really looking at it, that and for my own example, I have I've restructured, and I didn't really look at it like this, but my whole life now has been restructuring around bringing sound and music work into, the reason I didn't get here is because I was finishing with my piano lady before I came here. because we always have, I'm always teaching her at the same time that we're meeting. But ever since last October, almost a year ago, uh, all of the years, and I don't know if you all realize this about me, is that a great much of my life has been taken up with the development of both the healing, the teaching, and the artistic parts of doing music. And so, as a result, I was asking myself, what did I do? I am branching out, and I've taken on, it's called sacred sound healing, in a really big way. And so that's quite Aryan, because that's changing my whole trajectory and my whole identity in terms of bringing something that's really been with me for the last 20 plus years. But now the Aries energy is saying, okay, you got to pull it together and get a new identity for myself so I can see it clearly. So I'm just using that as an example of how each one of us needs to focus on that Aries energy,
Okay.
wherever it happens to be.
So I guess I was wrong. I have Mercury in Aries in my second house.
Yes, you definitely, you definitely have an Aries energy going on. How you think, because you've got a connection with Mars and Mercury together. So that would say to me that your thoughts, you get a lot of thoughts, and they're moving fast
Yeah.
and
Yes, I do.
serious.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I feel like
because
I have, pulled here all the time.
right, and as a result, having to bring I don't know whether you have earth signs or not, but
Not
sometimes you
many,
have
I think, not many earth signs.
but you have to calm yourself down when all of those, because it's like your brain is firing on all the cylinders. It's moving fast.
I have Mars and Aquarius in the 12th house.
Okay, so you got Mars in Aquarius, and then you got Mercury and Aries, air with fire. Oh yeah,
That's
you're
what I'm saying.
firing.
That's what I was talking about. That's probably why it's been a little tense for me right now.
Yes, you're firing up those cylinders. You can see all kinds of possibilities. That's an Aries thing too.
Okay. But here I need to bring them into actual physical manifestation with this Shungite. Maybe that is why it's calling me in right now. So calling us. This is for the collective. So
I've heard of Shungite. I don't have a piece, but I have heard of it. Yeah. And so yeah, the Aries energy is, in fact, it would be really wise for all of us to do some kind of creative thing at the moment. Put aside so much thinking and just really embrace something creative, even in these next couple of days.
okay.
We need to all of us, we need to chill, because there are two things that happened even this morning. Where I live, somebody came off the rail, and I said, "Oh my God, that was the Aries." Now that was pure, and this person is a Scorpio, so that means some of that, because one of the traditional rulers of Scorpio is Mars. So here we got the full moon in Mars, with Mars proper, the moon and um, Mars connected together, and it was like fireworks, and it's like, and it was just like, and and then the other one was my student shared with me, and I'm sure she won't mind, her dream. She has been um, with a family member who continues to smoke, and she's worried and all that kind of stuff, and she had a dream about walking across glass shards.
Wow.
And I said to her, "What does that mean?" Because she's been, talking about this family member and what she's trying to do, and to get the person not to do this and to do that and that and that. And I said, I wonder what that dream means. Maybe those shards are all these other people, and you're going to walk across. So I wanted to share that, and that seems to be quite Aries. Aries says, no, you got to stop. You can't walk into somebody else's. You can't walk in somebody else's shoes. Not really. So
Oh,
Aries has many, 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 many. It's talking to us. That's all I have to say.
oh, thank you so much.
It really is talking to us, saying, hey, you.
Love all of your insight. So I think we're going to, I've drawn a card for the collective today. And it certainly matched with the energy that, and it is from the Luminous Void. Oops, upside down. I haven't used this too often.
Who is that by, Karen? I've never heard of that one.
Oh, it's actually quite, for me, it's very minimal. So I sometimes have difficulty connecting to it. I think that Kasha and Alexandra would do wonderfully with it, because I think they do wonderful with those minimal decks. So anyway, see, it's got that, I think I was drawn to the back of it. And it's got that, that red Aries and the sun I'm saying the moon fire. So
I like that moon fire, yeah.
Yeah. So the King of Wands is what is, I don't know if I should change my view so everybody can see it.
I can see it.
Okay, good. Okay. So the King of Wands, and that really kind of, again, connects me to that fiery energy. And it's like the full embodiment of creativity and focus. I'm seeing the king, and I see a headdress of fire. That's kind of what is
that's your Mercury Aries right there. That is your Mercury Aries right there.
So okay, so yeah, that's kind of that king is he is the master of creativity. He also is the leader of visions, and I just, wow, what a perfect connection to this time. So follow your dreams, follow your heart, find the passion that you have to create your dreams, and take the king along with you, and he will definitely support you in all ways. So
well, take your sacred masculine with you. We as women need to own that part of ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. So
yes,
this is the sacred
and speaking
masculine.
In the language, your sacred masculine needs to travel with you, because that's part of our, I don't know about yours, but it's really part of the issue of balancing that Aries energy. As women, we need to claim our sacred feminine is supported, and then the Shingai stone, yes, then it gets manifested, because the masculine part is doing its job.
Yeah, you got it. Absolutely. I mean, you need both energies in order to manifest anything.
That's right. That's right.
I find it interesting as well, because Aries is connected to the Emperor, and he is structure.
Yeah. And that is the divine masculine. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So that was a perfect card to draw for this collective, I felt. Alexandra, did you draw a card? Or
I did, and I'm going in the other direction. It's by the same artist, a different author here. It's the Kantaji Oracle, and it's a round deck, and it says "carried by the flow." So we have a crab. We have crab energy as well coming into the mix, and
in the air. So they want that water to kind of.
Yeah,
but it's interesting that water also is structureless. It's not contained. So the Libra sun, the Aries fire, none of these are contained. you know, so.
Yeah, but I actually I'm thinking of bringing it into that mix with taking action with that fiery energy to actually listen and go with what's with the flow inside as well. The currents, listen to the currents that are present within us.
You know, it's interesting as I look at these, you've got the sacred masculine and you got the divine feminine, but
Yes,
they're both cardinal. And
they
we
are.
and we
Exactly.
often forget that cardinal water it's not structured in the way that we think, but there is a structure inside our intuition,
Yeah.
and the Cancerian very much can tap into that, but it's cardinal too, and it can move things also.
Oh, I would
That's
think so.
interesting with the cardinal because Aries is cardinal,
Mm-hmm.
Libra is cardinal, so we're
Mm-hmm.
in absolute cardinal energy at the moment.
Right.
Yeah,
And they move it, and they are the
they're
movers.
moving it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, way cool. Well, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and we'll post these in the group, the
Mhm.
cards. We'll post the cards in the
Mhm.
group. Ladies, anything more that we have to say for this part of our little gathering? Anything more on the energies or, okay. So we're just gonna kind of close down, go into our other sharing of cards and anything like that from privately. And I thank you all for coming and joining with us today. And geez, we'll be meeting again, I believe, for the new moon gathering?
Mhm.
In October. I don't remember the time, I'm sorry.
It is October 12th.
October 12th, we'll be meeting again in Zoom for the new moon gathering. So bye all, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. 1, 2.